So what I'm doing here is I'm taking vintage papers and I'm gluing them to sticker, the sheets that you put through a printer, but they have a sticky back and they're like a full sheet of sticker. You can see there's little places where I need to go back through. Anyways. So what I do is I take vintage papers, but you could use any papers that you want or you like or that you use, and you could do the same thing. I tend to not do something with a lot of pattern on it, just maybe tinted or have a background on it. Even like these, this is fine. Even that is fine. But if you get too bold whenever you do something on it, it eliminates the ability to layer on top of it. So like keep it pretty low key on the background. Anyways, so and then I just kind of, these, because I'm using matte medium and it's acrylic, which is not the greatest for my skin. My skin does not love acrylic, but I try to hurry and go clear this off of my skin as fast as I can, but let's see. So now what I do, and I'm going to put this to dry. So I'm going to show you how I start. So I either start with a plain white, or I take some brown watercolor and just wash over the paper. So that's one way I do it. Or I take a distress ink pad and just run it all over the page, and it gives, you can, like this one, I really put some pressure down, and this I did light. And like even with this, you could go a little darker if you wanted to. I just like a little tint sometimes. And then here I'm showing how you do it on just white. You can do it many different ways. So what I do is I just get some of these papers, lay down some matte medium on them, and like I said, when I do this, I try to do a ton of them because my skin doesn't like acrylic paint. Like I'm allergic to the acrylic in it, and I usually wear gloves whenever I use acrylic paint, just because it can be pretty bad sometimes. But anyways, I try to do a bunch of these at once and get a bunch of them done so that I'm not always in paint. So like when I sit down to do this, I usually make about 10 different sheets so that I have them and they're ready to roll. That way like I said, I'm not messing in this acrylic too much. And the reason I'm not using gloves right now is I have to feel like I have to use my hands in the gloves because I'm trying to get stuff to stick. It makes it a little more difficult with gloves. And so, like I said, I just try to hurry and get through it. So this catalyst wedge is one of my favorite things because it smooths things out really nice. And I can get in here with some more if I want. I can't find my flat catalyst wedge, so I'm just using this one. This one adds texture, but that's okay. And then I lay this down and kind of press and just kind of go in layering and layering and layering and layering. So I just take this and squish off. It doesn't tear the paper. It's a real gentle glide across your what you've laid down, so that it's nice. Because I can use a credit card, and I have, but sometimes it'll tear my paper. This catalyst wedge is really nice because it keeps things very smooth, and it doesn't hurt my paper. It doesn't create, and it gets all the bubbles out real nice. I just really like it. So let's lay this down here. And like I said, as it dries, some of this stuff will sometimes on the edge will pop up, and I'll either take a glue stick or more gel medium and just kind of glue those down. For the most part, it's usually a glue stick because I let these, like I said, I do a bunch at once, and then I just take them and put them to the side. And then when I come back in, I grab my glue stick and get those edges. And I try to squish that glue. It eliminates some of the bubbles if you can do that. And sometimes I'll even cut into the paper just to get some trapped glue out. I just like it to go to the edge. Seamless if I can. Not always can I, but if I can, I try to get it a little seamless. And like there's some blank spots in here, and that's great. I don't even care about that. I just like a little bit of stuff going on there. So let's grab, we'll do one more. And what I'm gonna do to start is I'm just gonna lay down a bunch on this paper, and then we'll layer on top of it. It'll make it easier. Maybe it will. In theory, it will make it easier. This paper is making a mess of it. Okay. There. But I just try to have everything ready, at the ready. Make a mess. Enjoy yourself. Play in it. And you can't do this. There's no wrong way to do this. None. Because in the end, it doesn't, like say, oh, that doesn't look that great right there. Who cares? In the end, it's not gonna matter. It's all gonna look great. So don't get too precious with it, and just have some fun with it. And let's see. Okay. Paper, get that off of there. Okay. Now see how it's kind of popping up? If I take the catalyst wedge and I squish it, guess what? It holds down really, really well, which makes it nice. There we go. Now turning it. That one I did rip, it doesn't matter. So and then I'll just take the rest of this leftover and scrape across everywhere. And then, same here. Just clearing it off and getting rid of the excess. Now I'm gonna let these dry, and then I'll show you how they look and what we do next. So one of the things that I do with these sheets is I take masking tape, and this, I don't know, I think it's like an inch thick. Anyways, it's my favorite. And I lay it out on this is a laminating sheet that I just have run through the laminator. I use these a lot. I just take a laminating sheet, run it through with nothing on it, and then I use it for stuff like this. So I just make sure it's all the way down. And then I like to add a little texture and personality to it. So I just take a distress, this is walnut stain, Ranger Distress ink. And I just kind of run it across it, give it some color, some personality, to where it's not just the plain old masking tape. So like I've done coffee stain on it. I've done, the watercolor stain doesn't hold real great, but the coffee stain I will rub across it and it does all right. But I have found that this is my favorite way to do it. And I just let this dry, and when it's dry, I have some grungy tape to use. This is how they are so far. I have stacks of them. I try to make them all different, and then I can just choose which one I want to use in a moment. But the next thing I do is I take these, and sometimes I'm looking at them and I think they need a little bit more. So I have the distress masking tape there, and some of the just strips of paper that I ran through the Xyron. And so I'll just grab little bits of it and just lay it down in places. Maybe there's, you know, this one has lots of little bits everywhere, but there's a big opening here, and I kind of wanted to use that, you know, use up some of that space. So maybe I'll just put some here and then break that up here. Just kind of breaking it up to where they're, I don't know, just visually. A lot of times I'll squint and like, is there a big hole somewhere in here? Maybe possibly here. Let's see. So I'll just grab little bits and pieces and put them like here. Maybe I'll go right there. I think I'm gonna leave that. And then I'll go to the next. This one I kind of like as it is. I'm gonna leave. This one I like. This one I think needs something different going on here. So I'm gonna grab some masking tape here. And I just grab however much I want. I don't grab the whole thing. I don't want to cover up any numbers because I like those printed numbers. So let me see, maybe like right there. Kind of rip off a piece and then maybe break a little piece there. Maybe grab one of these. And I want to disrupt this solid here and maybe disrupt this solid here by adding. So I added some of these vintage tickets to this too with a sticker back, and I like that. They have a little bit of color, but not a lot. So I like that. And I'm not looking at these as like, this is a whole piece right now. Basically, I'm just looking at these because they're going to get broken up. So when I do stuff on them, I usually cut them up, or you know what I mean? So usually it's going to be like this piece or this piece. It's not going to be the whole thing, but I still like to look at everything and just make sure that visually it looks good for me. This one seems plain to me, so I'm going to grab some of these tickets and add something like right there. And then I'll turn them around too and look at them in different angles and see if there's anything that, oh look, there's some with a little pink wash on them. There we go. Something different. Not, you don't want anything with too much color, but like the red is okay, but it will inhibit what I do when I go to lay something down. I'm going to do this one here. Since this one already has a little pink here, I'm going to add this one here. I think that looks good. This one I think looks really good actually. Let's see. Maybe I'll add some of this in two places I can see, maybe like here and here. Maybe there. I don't know, maybe this is a place I can break up this red and try a little, I'll try a little bit of this red here. See how I like it. I don't want the whole thing just because I think that's too much, just in case I block it off there. I can already see a spot I want taken care of right now there. Let's see about you. So I have a bunch of stuff going this way. I might need to do something in this way to break up that one directional thing. So there, maybe here. I like that there. That kind of breaks it up, but I really like that one. This one definitely needs something. I need to break up these big spots, because if I cut something out and it's just this, then why am I doing this? What have I spent the time doing this for? So I'm going to add some little bits to this in different areas just to kind of break up the big block of this. And I'm going to keep turning it and adding. I think I'm going to do this one right here. Oop, I got a little crooked. That's okay. Keep turning it. I just keep turning them because it helps me just, I don't know, keeps me from doing something in the same direction every single time. I want something long to go across all of that. So I think I'm going to take this piece and lay it there. And maybe something right there. Where's this? Let's get this guy. I like it. Again, block, block, block. And I did this on purpose because I wanted to add some of this other stuff to it. And when I do something like this, it's really nice to take and use this masking tape to add a break in the visual here a little bit. And I don't know, add something to this. That was something that was stuck in here. Anything with sticker back, like whenever I have the leftover something, I put a sticker on it just so that I will use it and put it in this jar. And so I have some random things here. This is like there. Let's take this here. Let's turn it. Let's see. Where was I thinking? Here, maybe something in the center here. There we go. See, it broke it up just by adding a few pieces, and so it's not so blocky. So whenever I still think because like if I cut something out and it's this way, I need something to break that up. I ran this through the sticker maker and it came out wonky, and I have been wanting to save it and put something cool. I like that. Very good. Okay, so put that one to the side. Again, here we go. We got a big stretch here that needs some breakup. I'm going to tear a piece out of this and just kind of layer it. Then I'll grab the other piece and tear it. I don't always use the whole thing, but it's nice having big strips for whenever you do want to use the whole thing. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to rip one of these up and put it there, and then put the other one up here. Trying to decide. It needs something, but I'm not sure what it needs. I just keep playing. In my mind, I'm not looking at an overall piece, but I'm just trying to make sure all these big pieces have some breaks in them so that when I go add things to this, it still looks like it was a collage piece underneath. And I'll stencil things on this and cut it out. I will draw things on it and cut it out. There's so many different things that I can do with these. It's endless. And so, but what I end up doing is cutting. It'll just be like a piece of it, not the whole thing. And so I want it to randomly, I mean, whenever I add something, I want it to feel a little random. I'm like right here, let's add this. Okay, I'm gonna go right there with that. There we go. Okay, put that to the side. This is a perfect spot right here. I was worried about this one because I used a whole sheet underneath here. And I'm like, how, because there's a whole sheet underneath there. But how is that going to look? But it looked okay. I was happy with it when I was done. So all is well. And I think I want another piece of this. Masking tape is the cheapest, easiest tool, and it can add magic to things. So I really like it. For just pennies to the yard. There we go. Oh, I like it. So there we go. So we have, let me get this stuff out of the way here. All this sticky back stuff. Get it out of the way so you can see clearly. And this'll, whenever I do projects, this will get replenished. Like anytime I do a project, there's always a strip of paper that I'll run through the Xyron, and that will just go for that stash. And then this, I didn't use a ton of it, but I have some left over, which is nice because I can use it for other projects. All right, so let's look at these. I think they turned out nicely, and I think they'll work great. I have a little bit of everything. And when I'm not using these, I'll stack them underneath books so they'll flatten out a little bit, but it's not too much of a big deal when they're curved like this. But I will like stack it under some of my books on my desk or something just to get it to flatten out. Like this one I stacked underneath books, and it still has a little curve, but I think it's where the book wasn't quite covering it. But anyways, I have quite a few sheets that I can work with. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, like and subscribe for more.